All right. Normally, yeah, we're in a new DAO call in a new year, and it's a bit of a strange new situation as the DAO has been inactive since the snapshot that happened earlier this year. But it's nice to see this call happening and all the faces here, and we would love to keep the same sort of format going, like keeping these update community calls until the new DAO is established. Obviously, it's going to take a little bit of time to establish a new DAO and set up the whole communication structure and the like smart contract layers to do the governance on chain, but it's gonna happen at some point. But until then, yeah, we're gonna do these calls in a similar fashion, and also share updates from the team and allow DAO participants, basically like the ex DAO participants, the familiar faces, to be on stage. Um, I think this edition we're gonna do a bit like perhaps conversational, so we all get some a chance to share some topics. And yeah, like if people want to join in or have questions, I think it's totally fine to raise your hand, and there will be time to go on stage. DJ is here as well, of course. This is the main DAO representative, but I think anyone should be able to join the conversation as after we started at some point. I always see a hand raised. I think we're just gonna kick off first with a few like updates and topics, main Galina, but after that we'll sure allow people to speak on stage. Um, I think I'll hand it over to Rochelle to maybe do a little intro here. If Lawrence or DJ wants to contribute as well, that's fine. But I think Rochelle, if you can do a little intro, and then we can start maybe discussing the migration progress and like how the new year has been for Effect AI.
Yes, great. Thank you, Jesse. Yes, happy new year, everyone. I don't know about you, but my year's already gone off to an epic start for 2025, with our token finally on Solana. That was amazing. It was an excellent feat, and it was just really cool with the snapshot and then everything going great. I couldn't be more pleased. So yes, finally on Solana, it went so well. Couple people had hiccups here and there. We've done hundreds of Discord ticket support tickets, helping out in Telegram. It's been kind of, all hands on deck with, all the questions and things. But for the most part, I think everyone, had a seamless experience. Um, the there was a couple things, of people not knowing if they had their active or owner key, and that was easy to sort. Couple people had some outlier things, but for the most part it went well. And then of course, many of you are new to Solana and have never dealt with Solana congestion, but I think it's been quieter today, not as much congestion today on Solana. This happens from time to time. There might be some later today. I think Jupiter was having an airdrop. And usually when that happens, it's kind of funky for a day. Um, but yeah, I think it's went well. What do you think, Jesse, about the migration?
Yeah, well, it's also overall like first of all like excited that it happened and it succeeded and like I think from a technical perspective, the goal we set out was to go to Solana as the EOS ecosystem was no longer doing us any good. I think that succeeded technically, like our token, the migration, the portal. Jeffrey did like an amazing job, also adding a lot of features and usability things, and like and the rollout was quite significant. We rolled out like the migration, the snapshot. Like I think there was 4 smart contracts that got deployed on Solana to support all of this transition. The rewards for staking, the staking contract itself, of course the migration mapping contract. So overall, I think very smooth. Of all the migrations we've done, like this has definitely been the most uh, smooth, successful part. I think the main risk in this migration was the communication around the snapshot date and making sure that like people wouldn't be trading old effects after the date, and like to make sure it's very clear how which token is the active one. But I think it was a pretty intense ride. I think like the team has definitely been working crazy hard over the new year and into the start of January was insanely busy as well to get this all ready. But like we can be happy with as a team, we're happy with how that turned out, and the fact that so many people managed to migrate, and there was there was a lot of good feedback around that. So in that sense, I think overall happy with the result. Of course, there's also a lot of other things that could have been better, and a lot of work has to be done still. Like a part of the like what came with doing this migration so quickly in the start of the year was that we were very occupied handling this technical process and haven't really rolled out all the communication around the product and what we're gonna like do. And I think that's where we still have some big steps to make, like communicating, writing about the new effect AI, and this is what we're picking up now on double speed as we noticed that we do have new eyes on the project, and communication is key. So a lot of things to be done better as well, but overall pretty good.
Yeah,
What else to add there?
I
You
definitely
can
second
pick it
that.
up, Lars.
Yeah, I definitely second that. Like we've migrated before, of course, with effect from Neo to EOS blockchain, and this one was so much more smooth. I definitely loved the portal. Jeffrey did a lot of work on that. It was a really smooth experience. Unfortunately, he cannot join the call today. But it went. Of course, there's always some technical support that we need to do. But all in all, it's a really nice decentralized way of doing this migration. And I wanted to also quickly touch upon the point that Rochelle mentioned about the Solana congestion. That's something that's also in the works to implement a dynamic priority fee, where we basically increase the priority up to a certain level, of course, the priority fee level to based on how congested the chain is. So if there's another Trump meme coin launch, then the prior fees will be higher if you want to get a transaction through, and we're still working on that system. So that will definitely help as well with getting your transaction through when there's congestion on Solana.
Yeah, and I wish sometimes the error with the Phantom wallet would just specifically tell people, hey, there's congestion, try again, or something. That part I think could be intuitive. But one thing I noticed through the migration and the tech support with people that I thought was a no-brainer, but it wasn't, and everything was the fact that people were confused. Quite a people got confused when they still had the EFX token in their EOS or BSC wallets. They thought when they migrated, like those would be gone, and so they would see it still in their wallets on EOS and BSC, and then would keep trying to migrate, but then it wouldn't let them migrate because they already migrated. So that caused some confusion. I think I failed a little bit with that communication, with telling people like they're in there and they're paperweights now once you've migrated. But yeah.
Yeah, it's always hard, right? That's how do you explain it well? Because it is, we call it a migration because we said we were dropping support for the old token. The old token basically has no value anymore, right? So we pulled out the liquidity. It's not going to be used anymore in the product, so it basically loses its value, but it's still there, right? So that's why we call it a migration. But actually, if you look at it from a technical perspective, it's more like a claimable airdrop. that's more how you can see it. And yeah, I really like how we did it like this. We've been discussing as well about different ways of going through to Solana, for example, with like a bridge. But that yeah, that always gives different problems as well. You have to keep the bridge open for a really long time. It means that the EFX tokens on the EOS blockchain still have value because you can still bridge them over, right? It means that you still have to like basically support the old token as well, because people might still keep it there because they expect the bridge to be there. So I like this way better, where we say, okay, the old token, we drop support for it. It has no value at this point, but everybody basically gets the new token airdropped, and you can claim it by proving that you are the owner of the original tokens in the snapshot. I really liked that process, but it's just a bit hard to explain. It somewhere in between like a migration and an airdrop.
And then also, you don't want to use the word airdrop because that's like a magnet for scammers and things as well.
Exactly, right. So that's why it's like, yeah, I'm not sure how to call it. It's yeah, it's an yeah, a mix between airdrop and migration. I can't
Yeah.
find the right name for it.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah, we definitely had a tricky situation with the Trump and Melania drops happening, and I see some comments right now in the chat also, people having issues to use the migration portal, staking or claiming rewards, and it's probably related to that congestion. I think, yeah, the timing is like Solana used to have these issues with like the load and congestion and stuff, and they kind of solved it with priority fees, and the blockchain got way more robust. So over like the last year, I think hardly any problem existed on Solana. It was a very smooth experience. But since this month again, there's issues popping up, which is great. I think like there's just a whole new wave of like number of users and transactions happening on Solana, which is great for the maturity of the blockchain. But again, it's showing some usability issues on the blockchain level that need to be addressed by the ecosystem as well. So on the long term, these are good things. On the short term, they kind of suck because we cannot. Yeah, we're struggling with having new users use the product, staking and everything. So it's part of the game, I think, being on Solana, or in general being on any blockchain. But yeah.
But it seems like Solana and then all the other projects in the Solana ecosystem, they really work on creating better technology and solutions and tools, to keep the ecosystem running and stuff. So, there's always tons of active development, I think. So I'm optimistic that, these just temporary congestion issues and all of us will, all work together and build things out. Like what Lawrence mentioned, what we're gonna try to integrate, to help that along. That we have building, but also we got some tech goals here that we're working on in addition to that. And one thing is going to be, since these DAO calls are kind of paused right now while we figure out what's going on with that, we had been talking about doing a DAO discussion platform. And do you guys want to add some details about that?
Yeah, like future DAO is of course important. Like indeed, like what we just discussed, and I think the accomplishment of the month being on Solana is amazing and great. But of course, it's just a measure to get to the bigger goal, and we need to keep the laser focus on the bigger goal, and getting our product in a place like where AI is going, where AI is developing right now, like where the wave of AI is going in 2025, 2026. We need to make sure that Effect Network is there and that the product is there, and these are all like that is the main work, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this, because we want to be there. And this is where I think all our focus right now is going at. I'm pretty confident that the migration and the Solana part is sort of technically is working. So that part, like it's sort of done. This, of course, there's support, but all our focus of the team and also of our ecosystem should now go towards that bigger goal and getting our product in that place. Um, Definitely a big part is to get the DAO up and running on Solana. So the past years have increasingly been like the DAO has been increasingly present and active in the governance of the product. I think a lot of major decisions on a product level and an ecosystem level for effect have been made by the DAO. I was actually going to write something up about that because it's, I think, one of the success stories out there on like how many amazing like big decisions for the project have been made by in a decentralized manner, which is good to hear. There's often a lot of these sort of DAO failure stories where things go south and like problems arise and things get hacked. But I think in our case, there's been just a great plenty of examples and what we've done really well. But maybe because you asked Rochelle to like I think the DAO sort of comes second place right now because the like when it comes to our team priority list, as even in a proposal recently, it was highlighted by the DAO that's even the preferred way because we need to get our product right now, like at least get it out to a state where everyone can understand it, where it can be very concretely like described and used, and that needs to be done first, right? So just want everyone to know that that's definitely what we're doing right now, and the main focus goes to product development. And we're going to talk a bit about that in a minute. But on the DAO side, I do miss, and I do think we need to have something there. So it's also in the works. Like this will be done in the short term, and I think we can like the exact rollout has to be written down and agreed and discussed. But like a discussion platform is something I had in mind, and maybe I can yeah suggest that right now, like just a discussion other like a platform other than Discord, where perhaps even a Discord or like a forum type platform where people can post like proposals and discuss proposals even before the whole blockchain infrastructure is ready. I think that would be a great place to start, where we can basically lay out some of the yeah working groups and initiatives that are running in the DAO and be able to discuss them on an electronic platform. It's something I think would be on the short term a very good first step to get the DAO up and running again.
Me as well. Agree. Yeah. And I think on top of that, though, as we find a system to have DAO discussions in addition to the Discord area, we're going to be working on some staking system updates because I know staking is a big thing right now. Some people's tokens are becoming liquid and whatnot. And we've got some more things that we're going to be doing with that. Right, Jesse?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're asking about the staking system, right? And how that what it looks like, what's happening. Yeah, the staking system right now is like based on a flat rate staking system based rewards, but it's going to be a way more advanced system. I don't think. Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that, but so in the end, we would like a staking system where participation is rewarded, right? So stake 8 will play a really important role when it comes to like staking rewards. And I think how we see it right now, because of the short time frame we had and how we wanted to roll this out, the current staking system basically gives you a flat rate on um, in some parameters, and that ends in some APY that still is being refined and tuned, so we get closer to the original proposal that was made due to the intrinsics of that program. But we definitely want to see a more advanced staking system, also well written out in a white paper where people can own stakes in certain parts of the AI like AI ecosystems that Effect operates in. For example, like a specific AI agent, perhaps that integrates with Effect AI, that you can basically stake the tokens in that area and also earn earn rewards based on how much activity is happening within the area that you stake in. And next to that, we would like to re-add the staking rewards for the DAO. So if you participate in the DAO and you do governance, you will get rewards as well. This whole model needs to be written out, and I think will result in a quite nice, elegant staking system. But again, it goes sort of second to the product, like I said before. I think that's good to highlight. Like, we first want to get our product out there. Maybe,
Yeah,
Deej, I was wondering, how do you feel about setting up like something like a discussion platform for the DAO in the meantime, where even proposals could be posted? We don't have a good way to come to a resolution as a DAO, but we could already like discuss them and have them, pinned somewhere in IPFS and have them as a reference to get things sort of in a makeshift way started.
I see. So you're thinking of having it on IPFS. I mean, for me, I was just thinking, why not just discuss it on Discord here and just make a post.
The thing with Discord, like we could do the message board, but then after a while, like topics fall off and kind of get hidden, and you have to manually like go in and reopen them or set them to stay open a maximum, I think, of like 7 days. I'm wondering, things we already have, could we do like discussions on GitHub? You know how they have those discussions areas?
I think we shouldn't worry too much about it until the activity on Discord substantially increases, because otherwise, I don't think we're gonna have, because it will be an external site, so it'll be like harder, to get people to go down there too and read that too. Um, my opinion is that when there's a demand for it, it should appear, but we shouldn't like preemptively make it. Like, if we can just discuss things here on Discord, and then once we start thinking, okay, this is getting a bit too convoluted, there's too many forum posts, then I think is a good time to create a dedicated, resource for it. As Jesse said, yeah, it's proposal 193. The DAO votes all hands on deck for releasing the product. That's the main priority of the DAO, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the point. And then speaking of the focus, of launching the platform and getting that up, we're doing a considerable amount of work on the things we debuted in a previous meeting. Jeffrey went through and talked about like the worker node, manager node, provider node system, and how that's running, and that infrastructure and the processes with that are being shored up. Maybe explain a little bit at docs.effect.ai. If you haven't looked and read about it, it's under the protocol part under core concepts. And there's like a graph that kind of explains it. But that's the big thing of development right now, is finishing that up. Because that's also needed for when we do the update to the white paper that talks about everything. I like to call the white paper like the Effect AI Bible. That's getting a big overhaul.
Yeah, and for the discussion board, I agree, DJ. So it's not a priority. I don't really am in Discord too much, but if the proposals are written out there, then I might go in there as well. I never really enjoyed. I tried for a while to write proposals in Discord, and yeah. Anyways, it's not a priority. I think we can move on. I saw a question in the beginning actually of the call by Gabriel.
Oh yes.
Asking about the advantages of AI automating responses and speeding up the process. How would the analysis and feedback from users affect AI agents work in practice? Don't fully grasp the question. I think feel free to enhance to refine a little bit if you don't get your answer here, Gabriel. But I like the tone, like the focus of that, because that's indeed what I think we should be spending our energy and discussions on is how, like, what is Effect gonna do, and how are we going to make a big difference and impact in the current AI ecosystem, and where is it going? And I think AI agents are like there's clearly like something happening there, right? Everyone is building AI agents. Even the newspapers, like the traditional media, are writing about AI agents. It's becoming a term used in households. And I have an AI background, so like the actual technical meaning of that term, um, yeah, I think it's kind of a broad, like people maybe sometimes mean different things about them, but for me, I think one of the things we're gonna see, and where Effect AI is going to play a really important role, is what we see now a lot is, in my opinion, is like it's called instruct models, right? The LLMs that we use today, they're basically, you're talking to the LLM and you're asking it questions and you're asking it to do things for you, like, hey, summarize this page for me, or hey, maybe do this for like do it like these DeFi AI bots. They can post a trade on some DeFi market, or they can summarize your article or write you like an email for your landlord, like about a certain topic. Anyways, these are instruct models, so we instruct them what to do. I think what we're going to see more and more from AI agents as well is like more the other way around, where the model is going to instruct us things to do. And I think this is where Effect will really shine as well, because like if a model needs something done, right? If it needs like, hey, post this tweet, or hey, verify if this trade isn't dangerous, like the model needs things done, verified. And I think we're going to see a dynamic and a change in that's already happening now, where AI agents are going to request things from us people to do certain things, perhaps even to get access to certain walled up data, or to get some, perhaps even sentiment or cultural like verification on whatever this AI is doing. And I think this will be something where Effect AI can really shine, because we're a network of people that are basically accessible on chain, which is the most convenient and best place for AI agents to operate. As they will be able to read and communicate in a decentralized way. And I think this is a sort of a trend, that we can really play into well, and that's gonna be very, yeah, one of the major things we can help AI agents with, as a human network. There's a lot of other places as well, but I think this is like one thing that AI agent frameworks and AI agents will be able to gain from Effect AI, as a human network that they can tap into and get more done.
I think we're starting to see that trickle in. Like, if you use certain programs, it'll be like, you'll see that little pop up, like from Gemini, do you want us to summarize this email or something for you? It's starting to trickle in. And then you click the button and it summarizes it for you.
Yeah, but these models ask, like, you're basically asking it to summarize, right? I think we're also going to see models that will want input from humans, like as a request. So they're going to ask us to do stuff like,
Yeah.
hey, post this tweet, or hey, give me this data or something. But either way, yeah, Effect AI can definitely integrate with a lot of AI agent frameworks. A really good example that DJ shared recently with me was also the Twitter agents that are being used. Like they're really popular now. There's a lot of agents on X that are posting and active, and they still require a bunch of human like oversight and input. And I would love to see AI agents being those like Twitter AI agents being powered by Effect. Um, and this is definitely like, these are use cases that will be very like, once the basic architecture that I think Rochelle, you just highlighted it very shortly, but like it's indeed also in our docs, but our basic architecture, like the foundations of the nodes, the different types of nodes in the network. When all of that is in place, we're gonna see that, yeah, these applications will be able to, like, we're building all of that foundation with the goal in mind that these use cases can work out. on the network.
Yeah, because I think we talked about it too, like enhancing the outputs that these AI agents do, and that goes along with the oversight. There's still no replacement for human talent, you know. We're getting the agents are getting really good, but they still always need us, and that's why I'm glad like we're poised at what we do and where we fit into the ecosystem, because it's not a dead end avenue at all. It's just only going to grow.
Yeah, and like yeah, I really liked how Jesse described it with how AI agents are indeed more and more gonna ask input from humans, right? Because the really like the more passive AI is indeed where you just they are in their sandbox with their limitations, like let's say GPT from OpenAI. You ask the question, and within its power, what it can do, it will give you a result, but it won't post a tweet for you just yet, right? So, and we're definitely seeing that the shift to AI agents where they're definitely more active themselves, can make like more decisions by themselves, and they might also want like a broader scope. For example, the power to get like external data in to maybe verify something or to fine tune part of it. Or maybe he thinks, okay, to achieve my goal, I need to post this tweet, but he cannot post a tweet, so he can ask a human to maybe post a tweet. Yeah, I think that part it becomes more clear and clear that humans need AI, but AI also need human input, right? And not just for training, but also maybe for verifying and expanding beyond the current limitations that AI still have.
So I think that's where we're going to be focusing, you know, our platform's capability and stuff for growth is those type of things, you know, in that sector. So, you know, we'll be looking at partnering with companies that are doing making AI agents, and you know, creating those things, and then you know there are other projects, you know, that have products and stuff that could use, you know, the human intelligence, you know, to improve things or monitor things or do, you know, small tasks. Because just because we're going in the AI agent, you know, shift, that's our platform is still always poised to do even just the regular microtasking and data set stuff and things, you know, and be an avenue where, you know, these LLM people and data set people can use us still to curate and create and build and stuff, all the data and things that they need. So um yeah, I think another thing we're gonna be growing is our team. So I've been collecting information from candidates for a social media and marketing, um, because that's going to ramp up more as we start, you know, launching the platform and getting things going. You know, we're going to be marketing for, you know, partnerships, collaborations, marketing for workers for the platform, getting workers onboarded and stuff, and then, you know, marketing for people to use our platform. So there's quite a bit of audiences that we're going to be actively marketing for. And so if you know anyone who is good at social media and whatnot, they can send me an email and collecting CVs and resumes to hello@effect.ai. So yeah, I'm excited to expand the team.
Yeah, this is an important one indeed. Like I think one point where we have really lacked now is is communicating on Twitter and making good content and communicating what's being done in a solid way. So it's something that Ellen's comments there. It's something that yeah, we need to really handle. We've tried different ways and like distributing it among the team and finding people to help out that have not worked out so far. But we're gonna solve this, and Rochelle already told yeah, just said now that we will find someone that's amazing at this position and can help out to communicate and make sure that that part of the project is on par with the rest, which is vital. So yeah, also any tips welcome, and we're going to fix that.
We don't
Yeah.
talk about Bruno, Alan. No, but what I'm looking for is not just a hype person. I mean, that's different. This is a professional that you know knows not only marketing but crypto marketing and tech marketing. You know, it's a very specialized skill set, and you know, someone that knows how to correlate a product and its values and everything, you know, about the product, knows how to communicate that seamlessly and with, you know, long-term goals, not just short hype. So yeah, Alan, I'm not liking any of your suggestions because they're funny, but so that's going on. But I'm collecting resumes and tips and stuff along my search. So I can be emailed hello@effect.ai. That's where I'm collecting everything. So yes, and Steve, well, Travala, you about time frame, time scale when this will be happening, as soon as possible. As soon as possible and as completely as possible, and not rushed and things. We're methodical with this stuff here. So let me see. So yeah, our strategic
Maybe
plan
I don't
2025.
know, Rochelle, what the topics, if you still had topics on your on the list, but I'm also we could also see if there's some questions from people in the audience or in the chat, or DJ, if you have any other additional topics. I think now is a good time perhaps to leave some time for that.
Yep.
I do have to jump at the hour, so like in
Yes, I
15
got
minutes.
someone here, Mangalina, that would like to talk. So I'm going to pop you up here on stage to invite to speak. There you go. Mangalina, go ahead and accept the invite to this stage. I don't know if you're on mobile or desktop, but there's a little button you have to hit. Anyone else?
All I had was the idea is I think moving forward, it will be good to make sure. Oh, there's you know, I just want to say that it will be good to make sure that the AI agent frameworks such as AIZ 16 DAO and virtuals, it will be good if there can be like some sort of effect plugin developed for them, so people basically can, like, you would basically push it to their GitHub repo, and then from there people can use the effect AI workforce. So that's just my suggestion of things to aim for in the coming months.
A great suggestion. Yeah, I think this is indeed really really important. Like to have that plug and play, you know, in the AI agent frameworks, because yeah, it's really hot and happening, and like a lot of users are starting to adopt these now, and crucial indeed to have that. But that should definitely technically and what we have in mind now as we're building the product, like that's exactly what we want to enable. Main, Irene, you're on stage. You're free to ask any question.
You may need to unmute your mic if you are talking.
I guess I can't unmute someone. Let's see. No, it won't let me unmute. Oh well.
Aside from that, Jesse, do you think you have like a like quarterly, like in the next couple of months, what do you think we can expect to see rolled out?
Good question. Yeah, I would love to get more concrete on this. It's kind of hard, but I do want, yeah, like definitely something we need to do. And what we have now, right? It's on the product level. I think it's great to think from the product level and like make that just a priority. That's I think what we've been doing. And if we look from there, we currently have quite some technology built on the peer-to-peer network that's like novel in the new Effect AI. This is the layer where worker nodes and master nodes and task providers basically collaborate, share data, and be able, like they're able to communicate in a peer-to-peer fashion, while settling things on Solana. So Solana is like the settlement layer where disputes and payments and staking and like all that interact. So that we have individual pieces ready, and this will come together in Q1. So I think this is where we're getting closer and closer and closer to having like a full end-to-end. I cannot, like, I'm not sure how to label this, but it will be a usable product with where in an end-to-end fashion and with for the simplest use case, which I'm not able, like the exact scope of that is still like we need a bit more time to see what exactly that's gonna be. But there will be something in Q1 that's usable end-to-end for a specific use case that we
Oh,
want to achieve
oh,
as a project. So that's definitely on the, yeah, go ahead.
well, here's the
Use
like
case.
example use case. So on as we talked about before with the AI agents on Twitter, you know, the crypto ones, like generally these frameworks, from what I understand, is basically they kind of just you use an API and you can like set the personality of your agent, and it's kind of can be kind of tricky, like you know, summarizing a person in one paragraph. Like it's kind of tricky to create a personality, you know, because that's how you stand apart. You have to like be interesting. And so I feel like one easy method for an example would be like with a plugin, it would the AI agent would first send these tweets for review to like a group of people to understand the sentiment, like how they react to it. So like perhaps you could have like say 10 Twitter users that want to evaluate the output of their agent until they're confident that they can let it run autonomously, you know, without them watching. So I think like just a reviewing of tweets could be one example. Do you think something like that would be possible soon? I mean, in Q1?
Yeah, that's a good example. Like reviewing of tweets is like a simple um, use case. I think something like that will be possible in Q1. I'm not sure if this exact one, like trying to see if there what the complexity would be, but I don't think that. I think this specific use case falls into the bucket of like being like extremely simple, uh, like an extremely simple interaction, and I think that is the category of tasks we want to support. So yes, that's one that we want to support, like that should be supportable in that first release in Q1. Though the maturity of the release, I'm not able to guarantee it's if it's gonna be like a public beta or it's gonna be like a like we need to see the scope. But in Q1, like on a technical level, things like that will be possible. And yes, so that's indeed a good example. Other examples like we have like we're working on a big sort of database of use cases that we also want to share here. That's going to be for later discussions and too early on. But there's a lot of these use cases that we categorize as being a bit more complicated, but also extremely interesting and special. But the one you mentioned, DJ, I think is indeed like it falls in the sort of simple interaction. If there is like you send a task in and few people give an output and that goes back to the agent. So that's sort of a simple flow. We're not there is no chaining or more complicated like things necessary. Yeah, so the answer is yes, that would be possible in that first release. That's what we're aiming for.
Yeah, exactly. And like Jesse said, there are some more simple use cases that we can think of, some more complex use cases that we can think of. But there's a little bit of time because all of these use cases, the core, like the protocol layer that Jesse talked about, with like the peer-to-peer network, with the worker nodes and the on-chain settlement, that's all needed. Anyways, that's like the core layer of the system, and the exact use cases that we can build upon that. There's a bit of time to still brainstorm and see which direction we're gonna exactly go at. I've already heard some really nice, amazing examples, and definitely in the next one we'll also share our own document with you guys where we are brainstorming about use cases that we can build on top of this core layer, and then we can discuss. So yeah,
There's
exciting times ahead.
there's another use case I'd like to discuss. One that you two have discussed a while back, and I'm hoping I can see it come to fruition. I know I saw that recently Nosana went on mainnet, so their computer is now live. Uh, and I remember a while ago there's this discussion how, for example, Whisper, the transcription um, LLM, can be not necessarily always accurate when transcribing, say, crypto podcasts, because in crypto there's always like a new term of the month, like a new thing you gotta learn, and so that could be something that human workers can help review and make sure that the transcriptions are accurate. And so I guess the idea could be that also you could kind of synergize both Nosana's compute of models with human workers.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's many routes possible to like combine the things that are running on Nosana. There's multiple sort of AIs running on Nosana, of course, and in general, Effect AI is really uh, uh, useful for either verifying or improving the output of an AI, or just even fine tuning and training a model. So, for example, Whisper is, I think, a great example where sure, the basic version of Whisper works good, but as soon as you need like some more custom things or some custom terms or some custom speech or maybe even a custom dialect, then already it doesn't work, right? So Effect AI would be really good to fine tune these models. Maybe we make like a Whisper that is really good at crypto conversations, right? Because it's trained on all these crypto terminologies. So that's yeah, I really like that use case as well.
Yeah, we actually spoke a lot about the Whisper use case as it's one that we really wanted to have. It's a bit more complicated than the other one, but yeah, really useful to have. Like if you have some like recording and Whisper, like what Whisper does for people that don't know, like it basically transcribes voice to text. So if you have this whole meeting we had here today, like the community call, and Whisper would transcribe all our words to text, it would misinterpret some of the words that are maybe too jargon or like weirdly pronounced in a my strange Dutch accent or something, and then that would not come out well, right? And it's a lot of people struggle with this, where there is little faults in the transcription of the AI because of these reasons, and it's like effect can be this one just one click sort of fix where you just fix it. And there's a few techniques you can apply, but basically the workforce can build like a little data set and then can fine tune the model whisper, and then you have a special whisper for effect DAO that can transcribe or recordings excellently because it's trained on those things. But yeah, that's a great example. That's a bit more difficult to achieve, but that's exactly where we want to go as well.
Are you gonna rebuild the effect.js and the Python version of it?
Yeah, there will be new versions, of course, that work with our new technology. So yes, those will also be rebuilt.
I see. So then what we can look forward in Q1 is basically these repos that people can, use themselves. Well, maybe not, as you said, the beta may not be live, but basically there will be like simple cases where workers can complete tasks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the exact use case and like how public or beta it will be, that still has to be decided, of course. But yeah, the goal is indeed to be able to make that protocol core layer where we can build these use cases upon, and of course a way to interact with that layer. So that will probably be some SDK or something similar to be able to interact with the layer. I have to go in like a minute.
I also have a few minutes left, unfortunately. These are good topics. I don't know if there's anything that fits in a small, in a couple minutes. Main, we couldn't get you on the mic. If you have a question, you can still pop it in the chat as well, and we can cover it. Perhaps it works better for you.
Oh yes, there is one question. Maybe you can answer it very quickly. Some people were surprised that you that we were listed on a centralized exchange, the MEXC, and some were wondering what made you pick them? Why did you decide on the MEXC?
That's a good topic to touch on, Internet, because we are listed on MEXC. There is of course some history on centralized exchanges with effect that things didn't turn out too well, and yeah, we've talked about it in the past. There is this the DAO proposals that sort of highlight what exchanges have to abide by to be an official exchange for the project. So I get it. Yeah, there must be, it can be quite confusing perhaps, or surprising that this listing happened. I think, like, first of all, I think exchanges are good for a project. If there's exchanges, that means like more liquidity, more access. Like it's in a general, like it is positive. It's also a risk factor, but like as a general effect, it is sort of required and positive in my opinion. On for a project to have those there. I don't know all the specifics here, but I do feel like that this is maybe a good opportunity to make, for example, a proposal to MEXI if they can and I can actually get in touch with them and ask if they can officially support the proposal, so we can recognize them as an official exchange as like the DAO in the project. I think that's something they would be perhaps open for, and it's good to do, a good case to make, because of course they can list projects, right? It's not like as a DAO we can just endorse it or not. We cannot block it or we cannot stop it. But I think there's a case that if we have that proposal and because it is a risk factor, and I do see that, I would love them to say they will abide by this proposal, and we can do an official sort of recognition or announcement as the DAO that that we support that. I don't think that's out of the realm. Yeah, so that's my thoughts. As Travala asked on how the Maxi listing happened, I would love to see them abide by the DAO
Yeah, that would be
proposal,
good to
and maybe we
follow
can
up on
make that
them
happen.
and submit the proposal and see if they can agree to it. I mean, ultimately, it's just I don't think it's too complicated. All it is if they ever delist effect, then they just have to burn the tokens. They don't get to keep them. I think that's really the only real. Because I mean, being able to withdraw is kind of kind of expected from the exchange, unless it's like really shady. You're kind of expected to be able to withdraw. So the only thing extra there is if there's a delisting, as in the case of KuCoin, the exchange must burn them.
Yeah, and also a little like I think an indicator, like a lead up to this listing, was the fact that we had a TGE, like officially, right? The effect token was sort of created, so there was like a date, a TGE, and exchanges are always very like attracted to these events, as they tend to, yeah, like it's like a first listing type of thing during a TGE. They're just attracted to that. So I think that this created an opportunity that otherwise wouldn't maybe have been as beneficial, or like, yeah. So that part probably helped as well. Um, Alan's question: did you provide liquidity on Maxi? I did not provide liquidity on Maxi. I don't use Maxi, but Effect as a token has to provide like some tokens as liquidity on that exchange, because that's mandatory for for being on exchanges. Does that answer the question? Not much more I can say about the topic, but I think the opportunity to push that proposal as a DAO and try, and like if that becomes the standard, then that would be great, right? I think there is a chance here that we can make that happen, and that would be a win-win, as we will be able as a DAO to also endorse and
Hello guys, how are
to
you?
endorse.
Oh hey,
Hello guys,
Hey,
can you hear me?
hello, I can hear you. Yes.
Hey, how are you? First, thank you so much for the opportunity and congrats for the project. I love the project. Just a couple things. In my opinion, my humble opinion, we have to fix. Is about the marketing. I don't see nobody talk about the project. The last video on YouTube is 3 years ago. If you have to be like successful, you have to be more active.
Oh yes, I fully understand your concern, and that is a concern that a lot of the other community members have. We decided not to really make too big of a fuss with the snapshot and migration and listing on Solana, just because in terms of marketing dollars, you really want to put it in when you have something that people can use. So our standpoint with that is, let's get the project onto Solana. Let's launch the platform on the Solana. And when we're ready to lead up to the launch on Solana of having a product that people can use, workers can onboard, start doing tasks, people can start putting the work they need, for their algorithms or their AI agents on there. We start leading up the hype, with KOLs and marketing people and getting YouTubers in and the noise on X and things like that. Marketing dollars are better spent when people can put up videos and images of the platform, urge people to go and try it. In the past, we have spent marketing dollars on that kind of stuff, hype and nothing for anyone to try and use, and then it's just kind of wasted, because when you get attention of clients and workers about our platform, and then they go to our website or our platform and there's nothing they can do, they immediately just forget about it and never come back. So we have our marketing budget and things we want to do, and we're going to do it wisely. I'm actively recruiting for a marketing and social media person right now. I don't know if you caught that earlier in the call, but yeah, we're gonna have a big splash, but when we need to have the big splash, because right now we have our website, a couple articles, a migration portal, and a staking platform, and really not that much else. And to me, if I was someone who saw hype and things on a video or some tweets and then went to our site and saw what we have now, I would be very disappointed and ignore it and
Yeah,
never revisit it again. So
I
yes.
under I understand, but look, we are at the middle of the bull market. I'll give you like a simple example. Anchor is amazing project, but nobody talk about Anchor. We have to be more active on YouTube, on X, because like articles is good, but you have make some noise. You know what I mean? Because when I look for the project on the YouTube, nobody talk about us. The
Yeah.
people don't read like articles. Don't read. This is a crypto space. You have to create something like we like as quick as possible. We have like great YouTubers, very smart guy. I give us an example. Mike Metz. He have a channel on the YouTube. Nobody talk. So we have to put all your energy right now on the marketing
Oh yeah.
because
My time right now is split between um the product development, customer support with migration, and the hiring of marketing social media people. So it's we're doing it.
Yeah, man. Thanks for like. I think no one is arguing against you here. So
Oh
thanks
no,
for the
not at
input.
all.
Happy you could make it to the mic. Like I hope you could catch the rest of the call. We covered a bit of marketing, and yeah, like we were just closing it off as I have to jump off. It's unfortunately, yes, it's great discussion, and we're already past the hour. So do want to say, yeah, thanks for jumping on. Honestly, like this is good input, and you're absolutely right. No one is denying it. We need to do these things. So yeah, I think it's a good uh, topic to close off on, and indeed a focus point we all and the team is specifically paying attention to. So
uh,
yeah, man, we hear you. Thank you for that.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't know if you know. I'm a just holder. You know what I mean? But Binance have a space where you can talk about the project, like create a live there, like stream something like that. The people have to know about the project. Like we have to create a FOMO. Oh my God, I lose something. Let me put something there. We need creative FOMO on the people.
Absolutely, yeah. I get what you mean. We need the marketing there, like absolutely. And indeed, these channels are great examples. Like, please feel free to share. Like we really appreciate contribution and inputs there. And like we realized that it's lacking. I mean, so we realized that, right? So yeah, your input is appreciated, and please share what you just mentioned as well. Like we will definitely look into it, and yeah, there's enough room for improvement. So
Yeah, no,
like
I,
yeah, you're
I'm
heard.
worried
Thanks, man.
because if you lose the time, you lose everything. Everything is about time.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, I'm sorry, but we are at the end of the call. So
Thank you so much.
yeah, appreciate the last remarks. Happy you could jump on at the end. Thanks for being here. Like we're gonna do this, and this like the improvements will come. Like if you listen to the callback, we have a few things planned, but also the suggestions you just mentioned, like we will not, like we will be on top of these things and make sure we make more noise because right now too few people know about this project. Hardly anyone does. It's a very small community still, and this needs to change. Like we need to grow. As the product grows, so must also the people that know us and the marketing and the buzz around it. So absolutely.
Yeah. Big
Thanks for
time.
those remarks.
Yes.
I'm gonna close it up here. I want to say thanks to everyone for being here. We had a lot of people show up, which is amazing. Thanks for the questions. DJ Rochelle, also thanks. Yeah, can't wait for the next one. Sure that will be planned in soon. I don't know if we have a fixed date or not. We'll make sure to share that ASAP. But checking out. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.
Bye, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
So, oh, he left. Dang it.
Yeah, he had to run for an appointment.
No, Galina, because it's easy for people to say we need more marketing, but that's just in the abstract. And also easy to say we need to do that, but that's also in the abstract. I have a thread that I started on places that perhaps Jesse could do interviews and calls. For example, there's the DPIN interviews. Like Nosana was hosted on that. Like you know, I think you know it, right? The
Yeah, I know Daniel.
Yeah, like so interview for Effect AI I think would be great there. Like when we talk about marketing, it's like it's always so abstract and like I've been actually trying to work on it and really it's about like we need something to think of something tangible. We need content, right? We need to think of content. Like this DAO call is content. Like as I work with Miguel, we can cut parts of it into clips and have them posted. And I think one way we can just, have an easy win is if we can utilize the Effect AI YouTube to, post these community calls or the clips. Like since there's nothing, as he complained, there was no content for a while. Why don't we just rehost all the DAO calls on there or something? Then there will be content. Um, and then aside from that, it would be great to ask the community members if there's any like say like YouTuber, they want to look at the project or otherwise, like I know, as you said, we don't necessarily want people like looking at the project when there's not, it's still like in development, like porting everything from EOS to Solana will take some time. But I feel like in marketing, it's always abstract. Like people say we need more marketing, and then team is like, yeah, we do. But like I wanna like be more concrete with ideas, with content ideas. So I think me and Miguel working on these clips are a good idea, but like I think if anyone has any other ideas, they should post it in the Discord and we can, see if we can do it. I also have the marketing budget from a prior proposal, so um
Yeah.
if like I
And
myself
what you
have been
guys do?
uh,
Go ahead.
oh, all I was gonna add is I myself have been spending like some my own money to make sure that on every site, Effect AI is listed properly, like it has the correct details, that it has the right token, that it's verified, that anyone who goes on these listing sites knows that this is the real Effect. And but there can be other ways of basically all I'm saying is instead of asking that we or saying we need more marketing, think of tangible content ideas of how we can interact with people. Like I don't want to go to people and say like buy Effect now. Like that's like you're gonna be assumed to be a scammer, right? If you just go up to people on Twitter and say buy Effect, buy Effect. Like you gotta have like the theory, the narrative. Like and the Effect AI, we're gonna be the middleware for AI agents. We're gonna connect AI agents with human people. We're gonna turn people into deep in basically, where AI agents can ask humans whatever they want and get an answer. So like I don't know, like I think I may write like another article on ideas I have of other integrations with DeepIn, but I think all I'm trying to get across is if for marketing, we all need to pitch in ideas to how we can outreach to other people, and not expect the team to do it like all themselves. And if anyone has any ideas, they should just go ahead and pitch them. That's my main point.
What you guys don't see are the email conversations, and I've had a couple different calls with these KOLs and YouTubers and things that are going on. These things it's contract, and it's working out details, and no, I want this done, or this video, or this many, an initial video, and then couple more quick mention videos. I mean, it is down to contracts with these guys. So I'm in those talks with them. With the page, we have a page in the works. It's not been published yet for Depend Hub. I know Daniel very well over there at Hotspotty, and the content and things, how I went on there. And then the podcast for Jesse to be on, because you've been on their podcast. For the other project, we've been in at their Depend Revolution event as speakers, with the other project. So, not only that connection, but connections with other projects on Solana. I have, my contact list with them and things. What you guys don't see are conversations and networking with these other projects and then influencers that happen in the background, because that's not all to put out there and name drop and give all the details for, but that stuff is also being in the works. And then that's why we know our target audience is. We've done lots of research in, okay, this type of messaging goes for this audience, and this audience and this audience and things. So we have our plan of the marketing for it with the different segments. We have a list of the key players that we need to fill those parts for those. That stuff's worked on a lot in the background. I'm not in there with Miguel and Jeffrey and Jesse and Lawrence, coding and doing all those things, but except for like the worker stuff. And that's just, advice and theory things. I'm in refining and doing this stuff, and then searching for a marketing professional that's going to fit with us, because, we need somebody who can not only understand the tech and get that out, but also translate all of the dev updates and navigate docs and create content from this technical things that they do understand. And then they also need to understand the crypto side of things, not only just the blockchain and protocol stuff and how it works inherently, but then also the moon boy and token heads and investor type of messaging and norms and things that are taboo and stuff. You can't just pull in a traditional Web2 marketeer and expect it to work out well. And then they also have to understand, that how the crypto audiences use each social media platform. That audience and those users, they use these platforms a little bit differently than the Web2 people. So I mean, there's so much that goes into it, and you can get as detailed out as you wouldn't believe. It's crazy. And then don't get me started on the whole microtasker worker aspect. Not only a Web3 type worker, but a Web2 worker that is looking to dip their toes into the Web3 part, and then also the messaging and outreach that needs to be done to all of these workers who are underserved from Amazon imploding and Nebo and Appen and all of that, and like the Insta crowd. They're not Instagram, it's a different working platform, how to entice them over and things. and the messaging on how to bring that out in the best way possible to explain. When you're you're on our platform, you get kind of like a set amount of money all the time for just being on it, in addition to doing the task. So there's so much marketing and so much different messaging. I sometimes get lost just sitting in my chair when I go through and make sure it all intersects, And then there's also the type of messaging you want to send out that, like right now, you guys had mentioned, on Effect's YouTube channel, just putting the DAO call stuff up and everything, just anything. Great idea. But also, if you look at Effect AI as the team and like the product, aside from the DAO stuff, that's why there's a little bit of separation. You want some maturity looking at it when the outward company would look at Effect AI to see, about really running their AI agent on it and really enriching their AI agent. A company like that, if they pulled up our YouTube and wanted to see what we're about, are they going to want to see product demos and our founders talking about our technology or our developers and things? Are they going to always see that stuff, or are they going to want to see DAO call things and DAO TikTok clips? It's being able to maybe make some
Michelle,
playlists with
you've
the
sort of
Effect
been
DAO stuff.
hyping up marketing for like years, so that's why the YouTube is empty. I mean,
I know,
like
because
we got
when we
3
were on
years
EOS, we
gap
didn't have
here.
a working platform. I know. A lot of it depends on the tech. It's getting the tech straight, and then we can go out
We
on it.
had tech. We had some stuff running. It's not like we had nothing for the last 3 years. We had the
Yeah,
platform going with tasks. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's completely wasted the YouTube if you're not gonna post anything there. And
yeah.
like like you say, it's less professional, but like I think having a 3 year gap is the most the biggest issue because it's like it feels like we're kind of like bottlenecked by you not
Yeah,
posting this stuff if there's not like some
I
alternative.
agree. I agree. I'm not happy with the current state with how it is right now.
So I think then if you want to, as you mentioned, what the compromise can be is we probably want like just the tech like Jesse talking about the platform is content in its own right, right? And
Yeah,
this is what we could use on our YouTube, right? Like as you said, it's empty, but we don't want necessarily like the DAO calls. Yeah, no one's gonna like. I agree that no one's really gonna watch like an hour and a half. Uh, People want like a 5-10 minute video to like summarize what the project is, right? And so it will be good to have Jesse, maybe Jeffrey, Lawrence like talking about it. Having their own sections or discussion about things like, and that could be content. So something like that maybe.
I can split it up with playlists. So like do tech playlists, then the DAO call recording playlists, and get that stuff all up on those. And have the main. I got to do the main channel home landing page.
Yeah, I think the best thing to land on would be just be Jesse doing an interview with someone discussing the Effect AI platform. That would be the most
Yeah,
solid for us, I think. Like if we want a first impression, it would be the founder talking about the product, right?
yeah.
Because we don't want to like yeah, as you said, like I kind of agree with you that we don't want to market too hard until we have something out, but at the same time, we haven't really done it, and that's why we have like a big gap there on the YouTube. So, uh, like I remember in the past, like there were the Twitter Spaces that Jesse did, for example, uh, content like that. Definitely should have it on the YouTube. And also, didn't Effect have a TikTok a long time ago?
We did. We did have a TikTok. It's all Bruno hyping stuff. It's like 6 little TikToks.
Well, you can
Those can
delete
be taken off and
those
it
from
can
the
be
former
rebooted.
CEO, but it still probably has followers, right? So it'll probably be easier to build up an audience reusing it.
Let me see. Let's see what it has.
But yeah, aside from that, like I think with AI agents, we can do a lot more with social media. At least I think I can.
Oh yeah.
And so like the specific person you're looking for, like it may be finding them may be tricky because they need to check a lot of boxes. So I wonder if an AI agent that we just kind of review the posts would make it easier. But that's something I guess I'm gonna try to look into.
Yeah, I'll find the channel and get it rebooted. I know I've got access to it somewhere. And yeah, I will work on the YouTube channel and getting that up. At least the channel. And then you'll have to message me which username or email is tied to your YouTube account, because then I can put you in as an admin for that stuff too.
Okay.
And open it up. And that way it's not always gated by me. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get that on. And then I have a note about just getting a video up of Jesse talking. I maybe can get that scheduled and get that working.
Yeah, like have Jesse just say like, so like a person who has never heard of Effect AI, tell them about the project in 15 minutes. Like, so, what is it?
Yeah, little quick ones like that. That is a very good idea. I'll get that started and work it in on his schedule.
Like,
prompted stuff.
and then like like easy, like this is easy content. Like, so like first we have like a 15-minute summary, and then like maybe once a week, like Jesse could spend like 15 minutes talking about a distinct aspect of like the thing he's working on. Like as he mentioned, there's we got the worker nodes, manager nodes, and the task providers. And so like maybe 15 minutes of a discussion on that. I think like we can make some good content just talking about the platform, but of what they're developing, like specifically, like because they know that stuff. They're programming it, right? So they would know like what it is. So it would be good to have just them talking about it, like how they're building, how it works, and stuff like that. And that will be easy content, because we don't really need to edit much. We can just post them talking about it.
Yeah, I like that. Because I have some segments already kind of scripted and written down for like the onboarding worker platform stuff. I've had those for a while. But yeah, you're right. We do need them to talk about that stuff too. I will put that. Yeah, I'll put that on here and start working on that. I sent an email out to that listing page place that we sent that update to, and I haven't heard anything back from them.
Photon?
Yeah, but I didn't.
It's verified.
And is it the right Telegram?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was second guessing myself, panicking with that. Cool. That's one down. I hadn't checked that yet today.
Yeah, you can see in the top
Yeah,
right, there's a
photon.
verified by.
Yay!
But yeah, so that's what I mean by like content ideas. We gotta have actual tangible ideas. Like Jesse talking about the development side, like what he's working on. 15 minutes. Like how does this work? Explain it more. Um, I mean, I think that's just good content to fill the void on the YouTube. And then maybe like for TikTok, we can just cut down. Like I know Miguel has been working on it. Like we could just use the same clip format, like of the 15-minute discussion by Jesse, we can cut 1 minute and use, our little style. So these are just all content ideas I think we can do to make sure there's some activity going on. And I think Kelvin,
Okay.
you asked how far to getting a working product. They didn't give any specific deadlines, but from what I understand, Jesse said very basic tasks can be done by the end of Q1, such as review or verify a tweet. But whether there will be a beta or not for people to join and test is unclear. But they're building the SDK, which is like the programming side of being able to create these types of tasks and then complete them as a worker. That will be, I think, done, at least at a very rudimentary way. All right, I think we kind of had a good discussion on marketing and outreach at the end of the DAO call, or I guess Effect AI community call as it is now called. But I think
Yeah.
we covered
That's
everything.
for right now.
Any questions in the audience?
Sorry for my rant. Sorry for my rant. I get on a tangent.
All right, then.
Ooh, good call. Yeah. Miguel can't shout in a library.
All right, so then I'm going to end the recording and post this all on YouTube.